I'm Ken Canion, the host of Love, Lust, and Lies. I was on a call for about an hour with a female. And this particular female wanted me to help her because she heard from another female that I'd helped who's in a relationship now, beautiful relationship. And she said, look, Ken Canion helped me get to the point that I'm at. Now, did I get the relationship for her? No. I simply made her realize some things and help her become a better version of herself, which attracted the man that she's in a relationship with today. So this particular lady calls me and she says to me, she says, well, Ken, all these men out here, all these men, they ain't shit. And all these men out here cheat and all these men this and that. And so I listened attentively. And I said, is that what you believe? She said, yep, that's what I believe. And then she went on, I said, so I let her talk. And then she went on to tell me what this man has to have that she wants. He has to have this, he has to have that, he has to have this, he has to have that, he has to be this, this, and that. And so I listened. All the while, I'm thinking to myself, I understand why you don't have anybody. And I said to her, I said, all of the things that you've just told me are things that you believe, right? And I said, you attract to yourself what you believe, okay? You will manifest what you believe. And everything that you've told me are reasons why I understand why you don't have the person you want in your life. And she was like, and she got kind of hot. And she was like, what you mean? I'm not just accepting anything. I said, I didn't ask you to accept anything. I just simply told you why you were alone. And then I said, I told you why you were alone. And then at this point, I ain't give a damn. I was like, this why your ass ain't got nobody because of this, and this. I said, you created these false and unrealistic standards that are based on bullshit. And I said, and if you keep thinking that way, you will be alone. So by the time this conversation got heated, I said, well, what you call me for? I said, the reason why your friend got what she wanted is because, number one, she realized she needed help. You called me to validate what you think. I'm not doing that. And you need help. And I said, look, this conversation is over. I'm done. Hung up the phone. All right. She called me back high. She was like, who do you think you are telling me this and that? I said, listen, you called me for an honest opinion. I told you the reason. And now I'm going to tell you all the reason why a lot of women don't have what they desire. All right? Whether you agree with me or not, that's why we're here. And I'm not going to say every woman. I'm just going to say, since this program is geared to women or feminine energy, because some women date women, but in any relationship, someone's got masculine energy, someone's got feminine energy. So, okay, I'm talking about the feminine energy. Here's what you expect. First of all, I'm going to say this. Many women don't want a good man. Okay. They don't want a good man or a husband. All right. So I wrote this down and I thought it was so hot after I got off the phone. I said, many women don't want a good man or husband. She wants the ideal or standard that she has for what a husband or a good man is supposed to be. Okay? And so what I'm going to tell her, so what we are so enamored with is the idea of what a man should be. The idea of what a husband should be. Not so much what he is, but what he should be, or what society says he should be, or what my friend says he should be, or what mama says he should be, or what I believe this idea is, okay? And so I decided to say first, number one, and like I told her, I said, people have false and ridiculous standards by which they set. And what happens is the relationship doesn't work because when you have these expectations, your expectations don't line up with your results. And I said to her, I said, if you change if you change the way you see things, you'll change what you see. If you change the way you see things, you change what you see. What you see will look different. Will look different. And so I got to tell her. So number one, so I said, let me go over the 6 expectations and standards that women have that are unrealistic. Okay. And I think it's keeping a lot of them in a box that's keeping them from attracting the wrong relationship, attracting the relationship that they want. All right. Number one, she says to me, number one, one of the first ridiculous standards that women have is a man doesn't act like a woman. And here's what I mean. So when a lot of women, when they're in a relationship, they want their man to communicate like a woman. I want you to listen to me. I want you to be super sensitive. I really want you to listen to me like my girlfriends, because my girlfriends listen to me and they talk to me and they communicate with me, and you want him to be super sensitive and you want him to understand everything that's going on in your life. Now, I want you to understand something. The way men are conditioned, the way they're raised to fix stuff, okay? What the man desires to do, or the masculine energy, see, when the woman says to me, I want you to listen to me, what she's saying is, which is cool, that's her feminine energy. Her feminine energy says, listen, I desire you to listen to me. So I desire you to have feminine energy with me. Now think about it. If my true nature is masculine energy as a man, my true nature is, or whether it's masculine energy as a woman, but the nature of masculine energy is, I gotta fix the problem. If you come home to me and you say, I've got a problem at work, my supervisor. So the masculine energy says, let me fix this. Do you want to quit? Do you want to quit? Do you want to get another job? What do you want to do? What do you want to do to fix it? But her feminine energy just wants to talk about it. And so because he does not communicate with her with the same energy, and I'm explaining this to her because she's wondering why he's not communicating with me the same way my girlfriends would. And the girlfriends are communicating with you from feminine energy. So he's trying to figure out, I gotta solve this woman that I love. This woman that I love has a problem at work. Okay, so I don't work with her, but I gotta figure out, how can we solve this? Baby, do you want another job? Do you want me to do this? Would you like to go to HR? Let's craft a plan. And what she really wants to do is just talk about it. What she really wants to do is just how it makes her feel. And so what happens is the communication gets stymied, and she says, well, you're not listening to me. He is listening to you. I am listening to you. I've just listened to you from the masculine energy that I possess. And now I want to solve your problem. If you want to just talk about it, just say, I just want to talk, or call your girlfriend so she just listens and not want to solve the problem. Because a lot of times they don't want to solve the problem. They just want somebody to listen to the problem. And so I said, that's the first thing. You want a man with masculine energy to listen to a problem based on feminine energy. Y'all, all I'm saying is, I'm like, look, everybody has both energy, a male and female. A man has masculine energy and feminine energy. A woman has masculine energy and feminine energy. It's just the dominant energy that you operate from. And that's just what it is. So number 2, I told her the second thing, unrealistic standards that women have. Stop comparing a man's communication to your boy toys. So here's what happens. So this is what's going on. So now a woman has had men who she been just kicking it with. They do it at night or whatever. And then you meet a guy that is serious about you, But the boy toy, he doesn't communicate too much. He looks a certain way. He's suave. He's smooth. He says all the right things. And he slapped that thing a few times. But then that's a fantasy. And so what happens is but when a man comes along, a true man that wants to be with you, now all of a sudden, this is the craziest thing I ever seen, y'all. And I was coaching a female one time. Now listen to me carefully. Y'all know this true. The very thing, somebody that you're attracted to, say that animal, that passion attraction when your hormones are raging with a guy, he can do the exact same thing that a man that you may not be attracted to, a man who really wants to be with you, and you look at the very same thing differently. I'll give you an example. So I had a female that I was coaching, and she said, you know what, that this guy that I met, he calls me too much, or he texts me too much. I said, what? Texts me too much. Now this is a guy, a serious guy, a guy who wanted to be with her, but then he texts me too much. And then this guy who just popping that thing, or a boy toy, and he's texting her, oh, he wants to communicate with me. I want to be with him. I said, but that's the exact same thing. I said, that's the exact same thing. But if you're attracted to him, now you make what it is that very same behavior negative when you're not really attracted to the guy. And then when you are attracted to the guy, oh, it's such a good thing. And so I'm like, which is it? Which is it? So you want him, a true man, you want him to, a true man is going to call you. So now he's going to text you because he wants to communicate with you. He likes to call you, but your boy toy only texts you. So this man wants to call you and say, oh, he called me too much. And so what you're doing is you are juxtaposing two different things. You are comparing two things that are not alike. Although both of them are males, both of them are not husband material. Both of them are not committed relationship material. And so the thing about it is, you're right, Morgan, backwards as hell. And I'm tripping off this because when she told me that, I'm like, are you kidding me? I said, are you kidding me? And I'm like, I said, I just can't get it. I don't even understand it. So I wrote this to unload it on y'all. Number three. So she has this expectation. She says, he's got to look like this, look like that. And I always say this. I said, number one, I said, looks are overrated. And here's why looks are overrated, because at the end of the day, looks will always change. But the truth of the matter is, if you look back, everybody that you've dated, when you look, many of the people that you've dated that were aesthetically pleasing, emotionally were unavailable, or it led to emotional demise, your emotional demise. And the reason why I say comparison leads to perpetual frustration. So every woman that I meet, not every woman, but a lot of them, I don't want to categorize every. All right. So this particular one, she says, I want him to be 6'2", 6'3", have a six-pack, and I want him to look this way, kind of like Idris Elba. Now I said, so I said, Idris Elba? I said, 6'2"? I said, first of all, let me explain something to you. I said, whenever you compare a man to another guy, that's because you're comparing, although they're fruit, you might compare an apple to an orange. They are fruit, but they're always different. And you say, I want a man over 6 feet. Now, this is the thing that killed me. This is why I got to go in. This is what made me want to go in. I want a man 6'2". Do you know that although I'm 6'2" and a half, almost 6'3", do you know only 3% of the men in America are over 6'2" or above? 3%. What the hell? I said, so you're going to miss out on your dream because you're comparing them to Idris Elba or Boris Kojo? I said, this is ridiculous. I said, at the end of the day, they gonna get old too. All of us gonna get old. I don't look like I looked when I was 20. I do the best I can to look as good as I can while I can. But the truth is, you are talking about superficial standards that at the end of the day ain't gonna mean shit. When you get sick, ain't gonna mean nothing when you want somebody to stand by you when your parents die, when something happens to your kids. You want a man that's gonna love you for you. You want a man that's gonna cherish you for you. You want not a man because he's 6'3". Not a man because he's 6'3", it's because he's gonna stand behind you 24/7. And so I'm looking at her, I'm talking to her, and I'm getting hot. I'm getting hot, y'all. Because I said, you will let Mr. Right walk right by you because you have some ideology of what a man is supposed to be, supposed to look like. It's just ridiculous, y'all. It's ridiculous as hell. I'm livid. Number 4. This is a big one, huge one. Women say, well, I don't want a man I can teach. I got to teach him something. I don't want a man I got to teach. Oh my goodness. This right here drives me nuts because, first of all, you're bringing two people together who have very different perceptions, backgrounds, intellect, all of those things, and you're meshing it together, trying to make it work. Me and my wife, we laugh about this because if you're not willing to teach a man or vice versa a woman, then you're not willing to be with that person. Because think about it. You have to teach people how to love you. You have to teach people what works based on your values, your standards. If you don't teach me, I don't know. It's like expecting my granddaughter to pick up the car. I want to go somewhere and expecting my granddaughter to drive there. But I've never taught her how to drive. How can you have a successful relationship if you don't teach people how to love you? That is ridiculous. If you can't teach people how you interact when it comes to money, you interact when it comes to your emotions, when it comes to your household, if you don't teach the person, how will they know? And so when a woman says, I don't want to teach her, man, I mean, even sexually, you have to, if we hooking up for the first time sexually, or if we're going to be in a relationship, we have to teach each other how to sexually satisfy the other one. It is ridiculous to think that a person automatically knows how to sexually satisfy you, because all women are not the same. They don't like the same things. All men don't like the same things. So why is it that he got to come into the picture knowing exactly what to do, how to please you, how to hit that G-spot, how to make you come and do all of that, and you've never told him? Yeah, how ridiculous does that sound? If you've never told me how to drive, I don't know how to drive. And so what we do is we have the unrealistic expectations. And when we do this class, y'all, when me and Milani do this class, I'm going to show women how to attract the man of their dreams or woman of their dreams, whichever. But the truth is how to attract the relationship of their dreams. And because what we're doing stuff all wrong, y'all. I don't care who you love. At the end of the day, you got to work. You gotta work. And the last one. Oh no. Number 5. This is a big one. Oh man. Right here. And this is where this is where I hung up the phone on her. I got tired. She said, he's not my type. He's not my type. I said, your type? I said, okay. So what we believe, what we have been falsely believed. I mean, we for some reason, we believe that we all have a type. And what we mean by type, we're basically talking about physical attributes. And we're saying, I want a guy who, not necessarily just physical, but I want a guy who's 6'2", he's got a 6-pack. I don't want a guy who makes under $40,000 a year. I don't want a guy, I even wrote this down. I don't want a guy who has children. I don't want a guy who does this or that. Let me say this to you. Here, and don't ever forget this. When you're in prayer, and you ask God for a man that's going to love you. And you've asked that, a lot of us have asked, or a woman that's going to love you. Remember this, that most of our blessings from God are not packaged the way we believe they should be packaged. Because at the end of the day, he knows what we desire. We ask things like, I want him to make this amount of money. But then you don't ask, but get this. You say, well, God, I want a man that's going to make over $100,000 a year. But what you don't say is, I want a man that's going to make $100,000 a year, but then to make $100,000 a year, he got to work all the time. And then you say, well, dog, he ain't with the family. But then you say, I want a man that's going to be with the family, but then he ain't making $100,000 a year. And so you find yourself in this contradictory nature. And what I'm saying is, and so God sends you the man who works just enough. He works hard. He works with his hands. And then he's not the man that you thought you would be with, because you said, I'm going to be with a business type of man who owns a business. But now you with a man who works with his hands. He works on cars, but he works hard as hell, and he loves you for you. And he keeps you satisfied. And he does all these things, but he doesn't fit the projection or the ideal in your head. And you let him walk. And you let that man walk. And then that man goes and marries another woman and makes a great husband. And you out here still looking for the CEO type, and you alone. And y'all, what you should ask is this. Those false standards and ideas, what you should say is, God, I want a man that's going to love me for me. I want a man that's going to love my children. I want a man that's going to work hard for me. I want a man that's willing to put up his life for mine. Because if somebody breaks into our house, he will die for us. I want a man that will make me feel like a woman. I want a man that will grab my ass. I don't care how big and out of proportion it's gotten. But he said, you still look good to me. I want a man that's going to jump, that's going to love me for me. And then when he make love to me after that, he going to go in there and make me some orange juice, pancakes, and eggs. I want a man that's going to say, you know what? That I'm going to stand by you no matter what. I'm going to stand by you no matter what the people at the job say, what my mama or my daddy say. That's the kind of man that I want. And if you ain't saying that's the kind of man that you want, your ass going to be single, or you're going to attract somebody who is going to make your life miserable. Stop asking for this superficial stuff and ask for something that's real. And at the end of the day, then God will send you that man. And he'll put you with somebody like me and Melanie so that you can become the kind of woman who can attract that kind of man. All right, y'all, I'm done. I'm still mad because what she was saying didn't even make sense to me. Hope she don't call me back. But you know what ended up happening? She ended up calling me back and getting in the program. So that's why I ain't going to say her name. All right, y'all, I'm Ken Canion. I'm the host of Love, Lust, and Lies. But yeah, wherever you are, have a great day. All right? I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.